Welcome to another video. In this special video series, I'm doing all about how to wholesale and flip houses as a result of the new real estate market caused by the COVID-19 crisis. A lot of changes are happening and it's important you stay up to speed so you can adjust and adapt quickly. On today's video, I want to share with you what I believe are the best real estate leads to target in 2020 for wholesalers and flippers. So get ready to learn my COVID-19 game plan coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's virtual wholesaling guide so you can flip houses online without leaving your home. Download it now at virtualwholesaleguide.com.
If you're new here to this channel, I'm Jerry Norton with FlippingMastery.com, and this channel is all about ways to help you make money wholesaling and flipping real estate so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. This is now the 13th video I've released in this special video series about how to wholesale and flip real estate during and post-coronavirus. Now the game is changing and it's changing quickly, and my goal is to help you navigate through these unprecedented times so that you can come out victorious and make even more money. Now I've created a coronavirus playlist where you can find all of these videos, and I'll put the link to that playlist in the description below for you. Now I hope you're like me and have decided to go head-to-head against coronavirus. Now figuratively speaking, I'm not sitting at home waiting and watching. When it comes to my wholesaling and flipping business, I've decided to capitalize on the opportunities presented. Now I'll never forget something I learned from Zig Ziglar that resonated with me when I went through the '08 market crash. He said, when the economy is good, a bunch of folks go broke, and when the economy is bad, a bunch of folks get rich. In other words, it doesn't matter what the markets are doing. That is external and you have little control over. What matters is what you do, which is the only thing you have control over. Now, I have continually made more money year over year in my real estate business, regardless of the market cycle, and I plan on making even more money throughout this next cycle, same as I've always done before. The reason why is because I create my own economy. I have a poster on my wall in my office I read every day that says, I put my money on guts over brains, tenacity over talent. I do not take counsel from my fears. I am proud to be a pioneer, a renegade, an idealist, and a visionary. I am an entrepreneur. Now, if you agree, leave a comment and say the following declaration: Jerry, I make a stand with you to be an entrepreneur during these uncertain times. I am a flipping genius. Now, our lives have temporarily been impacted by the coronavirus crisis. While I firmly believe that the immediate negative economic effects from social distancing and stay-at-home orders and businesses closing are temporary, we are going to feel the long-term ramifications for years to come, and the impact on real estate investing, especially wholesaling and flipping, is no exception. As I've been saying throughout this entire video series, the game is changing and it's changing quickly. The ones who will not just survive but thrive are the ones that are most adept at recognizing the new opportunities that are arising. And on this video, I want to share with you the biggest opportunities I see for both wholesaling and flipping, and how I'm adjusting my investing business to capitalize on these opportunities. Specifically, I want to focus on lead generation and what I believe are going to be the best leads to focus on and go after. But I don't just want to share what I'm doing, but actually give you the context behind how to identify the best opportunities. You see, the question I've been asking myself and studying day in and day out is, post-COVID-19, what are the best leads to go after to wholesale and fix and flip? Now, since I do both fix and flip and wholesaling, I'll share it from both perspectives. But honestly, if you're just a wholesaler, you need to understand fix and flippers as much as fix and flippers need to understand fix and flippers, so all of this information is relevant to you. Let's start with fix and flip. A fix and flipper's business model is to provide renovated properties to retail buyers, and there are three basic retail buyers a fix and flipper can service. Now, the first is the first-time home buyer or entry-level home buyer that, generally speaking, sell for under $300,000. Now, obviously there are exceptions like LA and New York City, but in most markets, it's safe to say under $300,000 is entry-level or first-time buyer. Now, to really understand first-time buyers, you need to look at how they get financing to buy homes, and the best financing for first-time buyers is FHA financing, which are government-backed loans. Now, FHA loans have the easiest qualifications when it comes to down payment and credit score, but in order to service entry-level buyers, FHA has a maximum loan size that varies based on the location, the county to be exact. Now, for example, in Winnebago County in Rockford, Illinois, the maximum FHA loan limit is $339,250, while in Ventura County, California, the max loan limit is $713,000. The point is this: retail buyers that purchase homes under the FHA max loan amounts typically use FHA financing and are the least qualified borrowers financially, and I believe these buyers are going to suffer the most from the COVID-19 epidemic. The reason is because lenders are reluctant to do low down payment loans right now. For example, one of the largest banks, Chase Bank, recently announced that it will only do 20% down loans with a minimum 700 credit score. Now, Chase also just announced that it has postponed home equity line of credit loans. Now, if more lenders follow suit, which they're going to, then it's going to become increasingly more difficult for first-time buyers to purchase homes. Now, the new CARES Act, which put a hold on foreclosures and provides forbearance for borrowers, actually shot first-time home buyers in the foot. Now, think about it. Why would a lender place a new loan just to have the new borrower not pay? Oops. Somebody didn't think that one all the way through. This is so frustrating. Did you know that 1 week into April, the Federal Housing Finance Agency Director, Mark Calabria, predicted that 1 million mortgages would be in forbearance by the end of May, and only 1 week later, in the middle of April, it's already at 3 million, and guess what? This means it's going to get increasingly more difficult for entry-level borrowers to get loans, and it also means it's going to get increasingly more difficult to fix and flip homes to entry-level borrowers because they are going to struggle to qualify for financing. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of fixing and flipping entry-level home buyers anyway because it's extremely competitive with low profit margins. But if you're a fix and flipper, my advice to you is to stop targeting FHA first-time buyers and move to the next level up, which we'll talk about in a minute, so keep watching. The best way to move away from FHA buyers is to find out the max loan limits in your market and then target neighborhoods that sell above the FHA limits. Now, I have an updated list by county for all of the FHA loan limits. If you'd like this resource for free, leave a comment below and say, Jerry, you are a flipping genius, and I'll give it to you. For now, let's skip the next level up, which is conventional buyers. We'll come back to them, and then let's go right now to the top and discuss luxury or jumbo loan buyers. Now, just like FHA has a max loan limit, conventional or conforming lenders also have a max limit, and once a loan exceeds that limit, a jumbo loan is required, and due to COVID-19, these loans are also more difficult to get now. Some lenders are even pulling back on offering jumbo loans altogether. Now, I think it will be common to see down payment requirements as high as 30 to 40% for jumbo loans. That means it's going to get harder for high-end buyers to get funding. This has been my favorite target buyer. I love the $1 million plus price point, and I'm watching closely because this segment of the market has been severely underserved. For example, in Phoenix, where I live, there's hardly any inventory for newly renovated homes for $1 million and up, and when something does come out, it sells immediately. I recently sold 2 homes each for $1.5 million and one for $1.2 million and had multiple offers on all of them. And that was right in the middle of COVID-19. Now, in many markets, I believe this price point will have even more demand because the super high-end buyers are going to cut back. For example, one of my buyers for $1.5 million was in the market pre-COVID-19 for $3 million for a second home and decided to cut back and buy a home for $1.5 million. You know, with all of the uncertainty and everything with COVID-19, the responsible thing to do is be fiscally conservative when you're buying a second home. So for me personally, going forward, I'm going to shy away from the super high-end luxury and stay away from the 3 million and 5 million houses and instead aggressively target the 750 to 1.5 million price point. For example, we just got a contract this week on a fix and flip deal in Tucson, Arizona for $600,000 on the purchase. The rehab budget is $300,000, so all in for $900,000, and the back end or ARV is conservatively $1.5 million. Pre-COVID-19, I would have gone with an ARV of $1.8 million. Now, my goal is to net $400,000 flipping that one deal. So you can see why I like high-end. A lot of bang for the buck. Flipping high-end requires an intimate knowledge of high-end finishes and high-end cost, as well as knowing what buyers want and don't want. And so for the average flipper, go slowly and work your way up. Remember, I started out 16 years ago flipping $5,000 junkers in Detroit and slowly kept moving my way up to higher and higher priced homes. If you're concerned that the tightening jumbo loan requirements are going to make it harder to fix and flip higher end homes, then you can stay away from that price point. Now, I also have a list of all of the jumbo loan limits so that you know what the cutoffs are in your market, so you can target neighborhoods that would fall under jumbo loan requirements. If you want that list for free, just leave a comment and say, Jerry, you are a jumbo flipping genius, and I'll share it with you. So that leaves the middle of the road retail buyer, which is above FHA and below jumbo. These are conventional buyers, and I believe the ideal retail buyer to target as a fix and flipper. This type of buyer typically is a dual income earning household that puts 20% down on loans. Generally speaking, in most markets, this is between $300,000 to $600,000. What I love about conventional buyers is rehabbing isn't that much different than rehabbing entry-level homes. The finishes are pretty much the same. I use the same cabinets, the same tile, the same countertops. I almost do the exact same rehab on a $125,000 house as a $500,000 house. The difference is the $500,000 house is usually bigger and in a nicer neighborhood. Other than that, it's the same exact, except your profit is usually 3 times as much. Instead of making $25,000 profit on an entry-level flip, you can earn $75,000 profit on a $500,000 flip, assuming you're following the 70% less repairs formula. So generally speaking, the sweet spot for fix and flippers is neighborhoods with ARV of $300,000 to $600,000. And if you want to be more precise, stay above your county's FHA limit and below your county's jumbo limit. Now, let's talk about wholesaling. I believe the #1 lead type to go after right now immediately is tired landlords. Now, a tired landlord is defined as a buy and hold investor who is sick and tired of tenants, toilets, and turnover. Pre-COVID-19, this was one of my favorite lead types, and now even more. Let me explain why. One of the stimulus package stipulations is a moratorium on evictions. In an effort to help tenants who are negatively impacted by coronavirus, the government really stuck it to the buy and hold investors. In fact, I read an article that said 1/3 of all tenants did not make their April 1, 2020 rent payment. Now, I bet it will be even higher in May. I would not want to be a buy and hold investor right now. By the way, if you want to learn what I do for passive income that is way better than rentals, be sure to watch a video where I break it down in detail. I'll put the link to that video in the description below, and you can watch it later. So think about it. With tenants not paying rent, there are going to be some serious motivated seller tired landlords during the immediate future. You better believe it. Now, this is a short-term opportunity for wholesalers, and I'll share with you why in a minute, so keep watching. But I did a video where I show exactly how I contact tired landlords. I even got on the phone, and you can see firsthand how I find and negotiate these deals. Now, I'll put a link to that video in the description below, and you can watch it later. Now, another term for tired landlords is what we call absentee owners. It's someone who owns a property but doesn't personally live in it, which more than likely is a buy and hold investor. This is one of dozens of lead types that come standard with my wholesaling and house flipping deal management system called FLIPSTER. If you've never heard of FLIPSTER, it's a cloud-based, all-inclusive system to help you organize, automate, and streamline all of the steps to wholesaling and flipping houses. And best of all, it's 100% virtual, which means you can do deals from home without ever seeing the properties in person. In fact, we now have a COVID-19 training center inside FLIPSTER, and we're adding tools and resources every single week to help you navigate through this time and crush it. Now, if you're serious about wholesaling and flipping, especially post-COVID-19, you owe it to yourself to check it out. Just go to getflipster.com. Now, like I mentioned a minute ago, I do think there is a window of opportunity with tired landlords, and here's why. Rentals are a double-edged sword. On one hand, temporarily, it sucks to be in the rental business right now with tenants not paying. But on the other hand, since first-time buyers are going to struggle getting loans, like I mentioned earlier, guess what that means? They are going to have to continue renting instead of buying, which means at some point in the foreseeable future, demand for rentals is going to be strong. What does that mean for you as a wholesaler? It means now is the time to target motivated tired landlords and then wholesale those deals to aggressive buy and hold investors that are planning ahead for a strong rental market once everyone starts paying rent again and can't qualify to buy a home. Trust me when I say this, there are buy and hold cash buyers right now that are well capitalized that are very excited to buy like crazy right now. Your job as a wholesaler is to bring them good deals. Hey, I hope you learned something new on this video today. If you did, hit that like button and leave a comment and let me know if you plan on targeting conventional buyers to fix and flip and tired landlords to wholesale. I'd love to hear from you. And right now, I want you to watch this next video where I get on the phone and show you firsthand how to call and talk to tired landlords. You'll love it, and if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel. This is the fastest growing channel on YouTube for all things wholesaling and flipping, and your #1 resource for how to thrive during and post COVID-19. And I'll see you on the next video.